Right. Radiator works at atmospheric pressure, there's no pump, and obviously I were concerned as to whether it all water. Now I've had it full of water and it doesn't leak, so I've painted it up. Well, that's where it damaged. It was seriously damaged, and by making little wooden wedges I've brought it all back to shape. There's nothing in here apart from in them boxes that's, you know, I've cleaned everything in effect. And by cleaning, in a lot of cases I mean grip blasted, but they're original bolts. That's what that's all about. They're there to make them. They're there to replace these. They're coach bolts to replace such as that. That is going to make them by turning them down and making them. These are brake pedals. They've all been cleaned and ready to go back. I'll put another coat on when I get them back. So it's all ready to go together. These are all bits of rods and brake rods and things like that. This is a couple of bolts I've bought to make the pins that go in there. Very basic car, there's no bushes or anything in there. No rubber bushes or brass bushes, it's steel on steel. This is the actual starter switch, and it's foot operated. Look at the condition of it once you clean it up. Looks like a new one, doesn't it? These two at bonnet, they've all been grip blasted on both sides. They've had phosphoric acid on them to kill any rust in pits and things like that. And then they've been primed in tool pack. That's bulkhead, and obviously that's boot lid. That's that little luggage carrier off back. These are outer frames for tops at doors. That's where the number gets printed on, and that was original little light. But I'm now going to put two lights on, and I'm thinking of putting a third one in the middle for a stop lamp. That's the original front panel. Obviously that wants quite a bit of filling on it. There steps for getting into dicky seat. There supports for front wings. That's that bar that spans the wings at the front. Somebody had stuck that horn on it that damaged the radiator. This is the bulb horn I'm going back to. It originally had a bulb horn, and funnily enough I've made this fitting up. Somebody had stuck it in a bit of old wood in this corner, but I've made that fitting to go in there, and that bulb horn will go through it in effect like that. In fact, I can show you. It will go like that. I've soldered that on there. It goes like that. That goes back on there. This is inside car, that's outside. It's going to be painted black. That goes in there like that. And that, in effect, the rubber goes round that and then it goes across there. So there's a corner off the side of the screen. And this is what you imagine it is. It's the out of the dicky seat, and that's where your two legs go in. That's a cover that's round the flywheel from underneath. And as I've pointed out to you, flywheel, it clutches all up from top. They were originally painted black, but this was chrome. But I've done it all black because it's beyond recall for hotels. This is just an idea to. There's a lot of nuts on the outside that show where it's bolted together. So I've sprayed a load of nuts up that are going to show, so they don't finish. That's what that's for. So each of them will pull out and be used as a bolt. If you notice, a lot of holes are elongated. It was a cheap car, and they didn't fit it together. They left plenty of tolerance on things to so that it fit it together anyway easily. Virtually every hole on car is elongated like that to give some flexibility. Half shaft's out. Well, I'm not sure whether it has a half shaft or whether it goes right through. I can't see how it goes right through. These are like, that's a brace, I'll have to take that off. No fancy about the drive. Have you noticed drive of it?
Mm.
Not a modern spline, just a square drive. Front end of this car's finished virtually. There's a few grease nipples to go on. I grip blasted it all intact. I've since had drums off and cleaned them out, you know, and sorted brakes out and cleared any debris out of things by pumping grease through things like this. But I'm going to work on these without taking them off. They're all free, and I pumped them up with grease before we grip blasted, and I've pumped it through again since, which means it's left cleared any sand out, because I can wheel it now like a wheelbarrow.